Batman, Bad Blood is a 2016 American animated superhero film which is the 25th film of the DC Universe animated original movies and the 6th film in the DC animated movie universe. It serves as a sequel to the 2015 film Batman vs. Robin. The film was released on January 20, 2016 for iTunes and the Google Play Store, and on DVD and Blu-ray on February 2. While not a direct adaptation of a particular storyline, it derived from Grant Morrison's run on Batman, primarily the Leviathan story arcs. Jason O'Mara, Sean Marr, and Stuart Allen reprised their roles from the previous films as Batman, Nightwing, and Robin, with Morena Baccarin returning from Son of Batman as Talia al Ghul, while Yvonne Strahovski joins as Batwoman. 2. Plot. 6 months after the defeat of the Court of Owls N1, Batwoman intercepts a crowd of criminals in Gotham City that includes Electrocutioner, Tusk, Firefly, and Killer Moth. When a fight ensues, Batman arrives. They are confronted by the apparent leader of the criminals, a masked man calling himself Heretic, who reminds Batman of his vision of Damian Wayne as Batman. Alongside his subordinate Onyx, Heretic detonates explosives planted within the facility. Batman flings Batwoman to safety and apparently dies in the explosion. 2 weeks later, a concerned Alfred Pennyworth sends a distress signal to Nightwing. Meanwhile, at a monastery in the Himalayas, Bruce's 12-year-old son Damian Wayne watches a news report of Batman's disappearance and sets out to return to Gotham. Batwoman's civilian alter ego Catherine Kane meets with her father Colonel Jacob Kane, explaining she feels responsible for Batman's apparent death, as his sacrifice reminds her of the childhood trauma she still carries. In the past, Catherine, her sister Elizabeth, and her mother Gabrielle were abducted and held for ransom. When her father attempted to rescue the three, both Beth and Gabrielle were killed, leaving Kate as the sole survivor. Kate later joined the military, but was discharged for unstated reasons. After her expulsion, she began frequenting nightclubs and overindulging in promiscuous sex and drugs. One night, as she left a nightclub in a heavily impaired state, she was attacked, but was saved at the last minute by Batman. This experience motivated her to become Batwoman. Batman apparently resurfaces and is quickly noticed by Robin and Catherine. Both of them intercept Batman and deduce that it is Nightwing wearing an older version of the Batsuit. They begin their own investigations into the Heretic, unconvinced that Bruce is truly dead. The Heretic and his henchmen attack Wayne Enterprises, forcing Lucius Fox to open the way into the vault by threatening his son Luke. Though Nightwing and Damian arrive, they are unable to prevent the Heretic from escaping with Wayne technology, and Lucius is injured. Before they leave, the Heretic kills Electrocutioner when he is about to kill Robin. The Heretic returns to his headquarters, where it is revealed that he is working for Damian's mother Talia al Ghul. And they are holding Bruce prisoner, and the Mad Hatter is slowly trying to brainwash him. The Heretic breaks into the Batcave and kidnaps Damian, revealing himself as a clone of Damian created by a genetics program run by Ra's al Ghul and the League of Shadows. He wishes to have Damian's memories and personality to feel like a real person, but Talia arrives and kills him for defying her orders, much to Damian's anger. Nightwing and Batwoman then arrive, having located Damian through a tracker in his costume. They are joined by Luke, clad in an exosuit designed by his father and styling himself as Batwing. The three rescue Bruce and Damian, but Talia and most of her henchmen escape. A week passes and Bruce seems to have recovered, though he remains adamant that Catherine and Luke should not be involved. After Catherine is forced to fight her father after he suddenly attacks her for no reason, Dick realizes that Bruce is still under the effects of the Mad Hatter's mind control. Luke realizes that the League of Shadows are planning to brainwash world leaders at a tech summit held by Bruce. As the brainwashing takes place, Nightwing, Robin, Batwoman, Alfred, and Batwing arrive and fight Talia and her henchmen. During the fight, the Calculator is killed by Alfred, interrupting the mind control and killing the Mad Hatter in the process as well. Bruce, still brainwashed, defeats Nightwing. Talia orders him to kill Nightwing and Damian, but thanks to a speech Nightwing gave, Bruce resists the brainwashing. Incensed, Talia escapes in a vessel only for Onyx to confront and attack her to avenge Heretic's death. The vessel crashes and explodes, with the two being presumed dead. Bruce is later seen comforting Damian over Talia's supposed death. Alfred remarks to Dick that despite Talia's madness, she was still Damian's mother. As the bat signal shines in Gotham City, Batwoman, Batwing, and Nightwing meet Batman and Robin on top of the police station for their nightly patrol, the former two now officially part of the team. When everyone arrives, they notice a robbery in progress down the street being committed by the Penguin, and head off to stop him. On a nearby building, Batgirl observes the group and prepares to join the pursuit. And 3. Reception. Critical reception. The review aggregator Rotten Tomatoes reported an approval rating of 100%, with an average score of 7.6/10, based on 5 reviews. Critics praised its characters, fight scenes, and nods to longtime fans. The film's complex storyline and intense action were also highlighted. 3. Scott Mendelson's review for Forbes highlighted the film's strong action sequences and the introduction of new characters. He found the film entertaining and saw potential in its approach for future animated and live-action projects, though he criticized the repetitive use of certain villains and wished for more exploration of Gotham's reaction to Batman's presumed death. 4. Andrew Pollard of Starburst applauded Batman: Bad Blood for its cinematic style, action-packed scenes, and the introduction of Batwoman. Pollard praised the film for its strong character dynamics, particularly between Dick Grayson and Damian. While Pollard acknowledged the sharp dialogue and atmospheric portrayal of Gotham, it critiqued the potential overcrowding of characters and a perceived lack of focus on Batman himself. Jason O'Mara, born August 6, 1972, is an Irish and American actor. He has starred in American television series Terra Nova, 2011, Vegas, 2012-13, Agents of SHIELD, 2016-17, and The Man in the High Castle, 2018-19. For his performance in The Siege of Jadotville, 2016, he won an Irish Film and Television Award for Best Supporting Actor. 1. O'Mara also provided the voice of Batman in the DC animated movie universe, 2013-20, and Zeus on the Netflix series Blood of Zeus, 2020, present. Career. O'Mara performed with the Royal Shakespeare Company. His theatre work in London and Dublin included The Jew of Malta and Popcorn, and he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor in 2002 at the Irish Theatre Awards for his portrayal of John in Neil LaBute's Pash. He appeared in Harold Pinter's The Homecoming in London and Dublin as well as Lincoln Center in New York. He had lead roles in other series, including The Agency, Band of Brothers, Monarch of the Glen, High Stakes, Playing the Field, The Bill, Berkeley Square, and Reach for the Moon. 2. He has starred as lead character Sam Tyler in the US remake of the British series Life on Mars. 3. He also played Jim Shannon, the lead role in the 2011 Fox TV series Terra Nova. 2. He played Philip Marlowe in a 2007 pilot entitled Marlowe. That same year, he portrayed video game character Albert Wesker in Resident Evil: Extinction, the third film in the live-action Resident Evil film franchise, and the second sequel to Resident Evil. O'Mara also played the role of George Washington in the History Channel miniseries Sons of Liberty, 2015. In both 2005 and 2008, O'Mara guest starred on TNT's The Closer as Bill Kroalik, a charming and psychotic man with a fixation on fire. O'Mara also guest starred in the Criminal Minds Season 2 episode The Last Word as a serial killer. O'Mara appeared in One for the Money as Joe Morelli. He also appeared on Vegas as Jack Lamb. 2. O'Mara voiced Bruce Wayne/Batman in the DC animated movie universe line of animated films, debuting in Justice League: War. 4-5. O'Mara joined the cast of Agents of SHIELD, where he portrayed Jeffrey Mace, the new director of SHIELD. 6. In October 2018, O'Mara joined the cast of The Man in the High Castle, where he portrays series regular Wyatt Price, a black market supplier of information. In 2019, it was announced O'Mara would be starring in Netflix's Greek myth-influenced series Blood of Zeus as the god Zeus. Sean Mar/Mr/Mar 2, born April 16, 1975, is an American actor. He is known for his portrayal of Simon Tam in the science fiction television series Firefly and follow-up movie Serenity. Early life. Mar was born in Pleasantville, New York to Joseph and Margaret Mar. 3. After graduating from Byram Hills High School, Mar trained at New York University where he earned his drama degree in 1997. 4. He acted on stage in several productions, including Yerma and Into the Woods. 5. Career. Mar starred as the title character, a rookie police officer, on the short-lived TV series Ryan Caulfield, Year 1. In 2000 he played one of the main characters on the short-lived, dropped after 7 episodes, Fox series The Dollar Treat, and he has also appeared on the television series Party of Five, as Adam Matthews, and on CSI, Miami. He reprised his role from Firefly in the film Serenity, 2005. Mar was also cast as a chief resident in a hospital on the new series Halley's Comet. He appeared in the 2005 Lifetime Network movie The Dive from Clausen's Pier as Michelle Trachtenberg's new love interest. He also appeared as Brian Piccolo in the 2001 remake of Brian's Song. In 2006, he appeared in the television movie Wedding Wars. After taking a brief break from acting, Mar came back to TV in 2009 as a guest star in Lifetime Television's pilot episode of Drop Dead Diva, followed by 2010 guest appearances in the second season of The Mentalist, CBS, the first season of Human Target, Fox, and the second season of Warehouse 13, on Sci-Fi. In 2011 Mar landed a role in the television series The Playboy Club. He played Sean, a closeted gay man who is in a sham marriage with a closeted lesbian Playboy bunny. He appeared in 8 episodes, in 2011 and 2012, in another series, Make It or Break It, as the character Marcus. He played the villainous Don John in Joss Whedon's 2012 adaptation of Much Ado About Nothing. In 2014, Mar voiced Dick Grayson / Nightwing in Son of Batman, a direct-to-video animated film. It is part of the DC Universe animated original movies. This was followed by the same role in Justice League vs. Teen Titans and Batman, Bad Blood in 2016 and Teen Titans, The Judas Contract in 2017. 6. Personal life. Mar publicly came out as gay in 2011, using his role as a closeted gay man on the Playboy Club as a platform. 7. He and his husband Paul have 2 adopted children, a daughter and a son. Following the birth of their daughter in 2007, Mar took 2 years off from acting to be a stay-at-home dad. Stuart Allen is an American actor. He is known for voicing Damian Wayne in the DC animated movie universe films Son of Batman 1, Batman vs. Robin 2, Batman, Bad Blood 3, Justice League vs. Teen Titans 4, Teen Titans, The Judas Contract 5, Batman, Hush 6 and Justice League Dark, Apocalypse War 7 and Russell Clay in Transformers, Robots in Disguise. Batman B is a superhero who appears in American comic books published by DC Comics. Batman was created by artist Bob Kane and writer Bill Finger, and debuted in the 27th issue of the comic book Detective Comics on March 30, 1939. In the DC Universe, Batman is the alias of Bruce Wayne, a wealthy American playboy, philanthropist, and industrialist who resides in the fictional Gotham City. His origin story features him swearing vengeance against criminals after witnessing the murder of his parents, Thomas and Martha, as a child, a vendetta tempered by the ideal of justice. He trains himself physically and intellectually, crafts a Bat-inspired persona, and monitors the Gotham streets at night. Kane, Finger, and other creators accompanied Batman with supporting characters, including his sidekicks Robin and Batgirl, Allies Alfred Pennyworth and James Gordon, love interest and occasional adversary Catwoman, as well as foes such as the Penguin, Poison Ivy Batman, character, the Riddler, Two-Face, and his archenemy, the Joker. Kane conceived Batman in early 1939 to capitalize on the popularity of Superman. Although Kane frequently claimed sole creation credit, Finger substantially developed the concept from a generic superhero into something more bat-like. They drew inspiration from pulp fiction characters like the Shadow, Sherlock Holmes, and the Green Hornet. Batman received a spin-off publication, Batman, in 1940. Kane and Finger introduced Batman as a ruthless vigilante who frequently killed or maimed criminals, but he evolved into a just, tempered superhero with a stringent moral code that prohibits killing during the 1940s. Unlike most superheroes, Batman does not possess any superpowers, instead relying on his intellect, fighting skills, and wealth. The 1960s Batman television series used a camp aesthetic, which continued to be associated with Batman for years after it ended. Various creators worked to return Batman to his darker roots in the 1970s and 1980s, culminating with the 1986 miniseries The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. DC has featured Batman in many comic books, including comics published under its imprints such as Vertigo and Black Label. He has been considered DC's flagship character since the 1990s. The longest-running Batman comic, Detective Comics, is the longest-running comic book in the United States. Batman is frequently depicted alongside other DC superheroes, such as Superman and Wonder Woman, as a member of organizations such as the Justice League and the Outsiders. In addition to Bruce Wayne, other characters used the Batman persona, such as Jean-Paul Valley/Azrael in the 1993 to 1994 Nightfall story arc, Dick Grayson, the first Robin, from 2009 to 2011, and Jace Fox, the son of Wayne's ally Lucius, since 2021. 6DC has also published comics featuring alternate versions of Batman, including the incarnation seen in The Dark Knight Returns and its successors, the incarnation from the Flashpoint, 2011, event, and numerous interpretations in comics published under the Elseworlds label. Batman is one of the most iconic characters in popular culture and has been listed among the greatest comic book superheroes and characters ever created. He is one of the most commercially successful superheroes, the second best-selling comic book series in history with 460 million copies sold worldwide, and his likeness has been licensed and featured in various media and merchandise sold around the world. This includes toy lines such as Lego Batman and video games such as the Batman Arkham series. Batman has been adapted in many live-action and animated television series and films. Adam West portrayed him in the 1960s Batman television series, and he has been portrayed in films by Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, and Robert Pattinson. Many actors, most prolifically Kevin Conroy, have provided Batman's voice in animation and video games. In September 2024, Batman was given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, being the first superhero to receive the honor. Publication history. Main article, Publication history of Batman. Creation and early history. In early 1939, following the success of Superman, DC Comics editors requested more superheroes. 8 Bob Kane created Batman, initially drawing a character with red tights, bat wings, and a domino mask. Bill Finger, a collaborator, made significant contributions by suggesting a cowl, cape, gloves, and a darker costume. 9 The character's alter ego, Bruce Wayne, was inspired by historical figures Robert the Bruce and Mad Anthony Wayne. 10 Batman's early adventures drew inspiration from contemporary pulp fiction and characters like Zorro and the Shadow, establishing Batman as a master detective with a dark, brooding persona driven by the murder of his parents. 11-12. Golden, Silver, and Bronze Ages. See also, List of Batman comics. Batman debuted in Detective Comics number 27 in 1939. Early stories were dark, featuring a Batman who did not shy away from killing. The character quickly became popular, leading to his own solo title in 1940. Robin, Batman's sidekick, was introduced in 1940, lightening the tone and boosting sales. Over the next few years, Batman's rogues gallery expanded with iconic villains like the Joker and Catwoman. The 1950s saw Batman in lighter, science fiction-influenced stories. However, declining sales led to a 1964 revamp by editor Julius Schwartz, who returned Batman to his detective roots and updated his appearance. The 1966 Batman TV series introduced a campy, humorous tone, which was reflected in the comics until its cancellation in 1968. In the 1970s, writers Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams restored Batman's dark, gritty nature, a trend that continued despite fluctuating sales. Modern age and reboots. In the modern age of comic books, Batman comics have undergone significant transformations, reflecting changing storytelling trends and audience interests. Beginning with seminal works like The Dark Knight Returns in the 1980s 13, which reintroduced Batman in a grittier, more mature context, the character's narrative evolved to explore deeper themes and darker tones. 14 This period also saw the exploration of Batman's origins and psyche through works like Batman, Year One 1415 and Batman, The Killing Joke, which delved into the complexities of heroism and villainy. 16 In the 1990s, storylines such as Nightfall introduced new adversaries like Bane, who physically and mentally challenged Batman, leading to a temporary replacement by Jean-Paul Valley. The aftermath of an earthquake in No Man's Land depicted Gotham City in chaos, further pushing Batman to new limits of heroism and survival. 17 Entering the 21st century, Grant Morrison's influential run introduced Damian Wayne as Batman's son and heir, bringing familial dynamics and a new generation of challenges to the forefront. Morrison's storytelling also delved into surreal and existential themes, such as in Batman R.I.P. and Final Crisis, which tested Batman's resolve and sanity against cosmic threats and personal demons. 1819 The New 52 reboot in 2011 refreshed Batman's continuity while preserving core elements of his character. This era introduced modern interpretations of classic storylines, like Night of the Owls, where Batman confronts the Court of Owls, a clandestine society controlling Gotham for centuries. The chilling return of the Joker in Death of the Family explored the intricate relationships within Batman's extended family of allies and adversaries. More recent developments under DC Rebirth and Infinite Frontier have continued to evolve Batman's universe, exploring new characters like Gotham and Gotham Girl, and tackling contemporary issues within the context of Gotham City's ever-evolving landscape of crime and heroism. 20. Characterization. Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne redirects here. For other uses, see Bruce Wayne, disambiguation. DC Comics concept art of Bruce Wayne by Mikel Janin. Batman's secret identity is Bruce Wayne, a wealthy American industrialist. As a child, Bruce witnessed the murder of his parents, Dr. Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, which ultimately led him to craft the Batman persona and seek justice against criminals. He resides on the outskirts of Gotham City in his personal residence, Wayne Manor. Wayne averts suspicion by acting the part of a superficial playboy idly living off his family's fortune and the profits of Wayne Enterprises, his inherited conglomerate. 2122 He supports philanthropic causes through his nonprofit Wayne Foundation, which in part addresses social issues encouraging crime as well as assisting victims of it, but is more widely known as a celebrity socialite. 23 In public, he frequently appears in the company of high-status women, which encourages tabloid gossip. He feigns near drunkenness by consuming large quantities of disguised ginger ale, though he is a teetotaler to maintain his physical and mental prowess. 24 Although Bruce Wayne leads an active romantic life, his vigilante activities as Batman account for most of his time. 25 While Bruce Wayne is never depicted as being especially religious, he is ethnically Jewish on his mother's side. 26-27 His maternal cousin Batwoman, Kate Kane, is practicing. His father, Thomas, raised Bruce as a Christian, but as an adult he doesn't follow any religion. 26-28. Various modern stories have portrayed the extravagant, playboy image of Bruce Wayne as a facade. 29. This is in contrast to the post-crisis Superman, whose Clark Kent persona is the true identity, while the Superman persona is the facade. 30-31. In Batman Unmasked, a television documentary about the psychology of the character, behavioral scientist Benjamin Carney notes that Batman's personality is driven by Bruce Wayne's inherent humanity, that Batman, for all its benefits and for all of the time Bruce Wayne devotes to it, is ultimately a tool for Bruce Wayne's efforts to make the world better. Bruce Wayne's principles include the desire to prevent future harm and a vow not to kill. Bruce Wayne believes that our actions define us, we fail for a reason, and anything is possible. 32. Writers of Batman and Superman stories have often compared and contrasted the two. Interpretations vary depending on the writer, the story, and the timing. Grant Morrison 33 notes that both heroes believe in the same kind of things despite the day/night contrast their heroic roles display. Morrison notes an equally stark contrast in their real identities. Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent belong to different social classes. Bruce has a butler, Clark has a boss. T. James Musler's book Unleashing the Superhero in Us All explores the extent to which Bruce Wayne's vast personal wealth is important in his life story, and the crucial role it plays in his efforts as Batman. 34. Will Brooker notes in his book Batman Unmasked that the confirmation of the Batman's identity lies with the young audience. He doesn't have to be Bruce Wayne, he just needs the suit and gadgets, the abilities, and most importantly the morality, the humanity. There's just a sense about him, they trust him, and they're never wrong. 35. Personality. Batman's primary character traits can be summarized as wealth, physical prowess, deductive abilities and obsession. 36. The details and tone of Batman comic books have varied over the years with different creative teams. Dennis O'Neil noted that character consistency was not a major concern during early editorial regimes. Julie Schwartz did a Batman in Batman and Detective, and Murray Boltinoff did a Batman in The Brave and the Bold, and apart from the costume they bore very little resemblance to each other. Julie and Murray did not want to coordinate their efforts, nor were they asked to do so. Continuity was not important in those days. 37. The driving force behind Bruce Wayne's character is his parents' murder and their absence. Bob Kane and Bill Finger discussed Batman's background and decided that there's nothing more traumatic than having your parents murdered before your eyes. 38. Despite his trauma, he sets his mind on studying to become a scientist. 39-40. And to train his body into physical perfection. 39-40. To fight crime in Gotham City as Batman, an inspired idea from Wayne's insight into the criminal mind. 39-40. He also speaks over 40 languages. 41. Another of Batman's characterizations is that of a vigilante. In order to stop evil that started with the death of his parents, he must sometimes break the law himself. Although manifested differently by being retold by different artists, it is nevertheless that the details and the prime components of Batman's origin have never varied at all in the comic books. The reiteration of the basic origin events holds together otherwise divergent expressions. 42. The origin is the source of the character's traits and attributes, which play out in many of the character's adventures. 36. Batman is often treated as a vigilante by other characters in his stories. Frank Miller views the character as a Dionysian figure, a force for anarchy that imposes an individual order. 43. Dressed as a bat, Batman deliberately cultivates a frightening persona in order to aid him in crime fighting. 44. A fear that originates from the criminal's own guilty conscience. 45. Miller is often credited with reintroducing anti-heroic traits into Batman's characterization. 46. Such as his brooding personality, willingness to use violence and torture, and increasingly alienated behavior. Batman, shortly a year after his debut and the introduction of Robin, was changed in 1940 after DC editor Whitney Ellsworth felt the character would be tainted by his lethal methods, and DC established their own ethical code. Subsequently he was retconned to have a stringent moral code 4748 which has stayed with the character of Batman ever since. Miller's Batman was closer to the original pre-Robin version, who was willing to kill criminals if necessary. 49. Others. On several occasions former Robin Dick Grayson has served as Batman, most notably in 2009 while Wayne was believed dead, and served as a second Batman even after Wayne returned in 2010. 50. As part of DC's 2011 continuity relaunch, Grayson returned to being Nightwing following the Flashpoint crossover event. In an interview with IGN, Morrison detailed that having Dick Grayson as Batman and Damian Wayne as Robin represented a reverse of the normal dynamic between Batman and Robin, with a more light-hearted and spontaneous Batman and a scowling, badass Robin. Morrison explained their intentions for the new characterization of Batman. Dick Grayson is kind of this consummate superhero. The guy has been Batman's partner since he was a kid, he's led the Teen Titans, and he's trained with everybody in the DC universe. So he's a very different kind of Batman. He's a lot easier, he's a lot looser and more relaxed. 51. Over the years, there have been numerous others to assume the name of Batman, or to officially take over for Bruce during his leaves of absence. Jean-Paul Valley, also known as Ace Real, assumed the cowl after the events of the Nightfall saga. 50. Jim Gordon donned a mecha suit after the events of Batman, Endgame, and served as Batman in 2015 and 2016. In 2021, as part of the Fear State crossover event, Lucius Fox's son Jace Fox succeeds Bruce as Batman in a 2021 storyline, depicted in the series I Am Batman, after Batman was declared dead. Additionally, members of the group Batman Incorporated, Bruce Wayne's experiment at franchising his brand of vigilantism, have at times stood in as the official Batman in cities around the world. 50. Various others have also taken up the role of Batman in stories set in alternative universes and possible futures, including, among them, various former protégés of Bruce Wayne. Supporting characters. Main article, list of Batman supporting characters. Batman's interactions with both villains and cohorts have, over time, developed a strong supporting cast of characters. 36. Enemies. Main article, list of Batman family enemies. Batman faces a variety of foes ranging from common criminals to outlandish supervillains. Many of them mirror aspects of the Batman's character and development, often having tragic origin stories that lead them to a life of crime. 52. These foes are commonly referred to as Batman's rogues gallery. Batman's most implacable foe is the Joker, a homicidal maniac with a clown-like appearance. The Joker is considered by critics to be his perfect adversary, since he is the antithesis of Batman in personality and appearance. The Joker has a maniacal demeanor with a colorful appearance, while Batman has a serious and resolute demeanor with a dark appearance. As a personification of the irrational, the Joker represents everything Batman opposes. 53. Other longtime recurring foes that are part of Batman's rogues gallery include Catwoman, a cat burglar anti-heroine who is variously an ally and romantic interest, the Penguin, Ra's al Ghul, Two-Face, Harvey Dent, the Riddler, the Scarecrow, Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn, Bane, Clayface, and Killer Croc, among others. Many of Batman's adversaries are often psychiatric patients at Arkham Asylum. Allies. Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's loyal butler and father figure, first appeared in Batman number 16, 1943. After Bruce Wayne's parents were killed, Alfred raised Bruce and became one of the few people to know his secret identity. He is often portrayed as a steadying presence in Bruce's life, offering both emotional support and practical assistance in Batman's crime-fighting endeavors. More than just a caretaker, Alfred is a trusted ally and sometimes sidekick, sharing Wayne Manor with Bruce and contributing to Batman's mission. 52. One of Batman's most crucial allies is Commissioner James Gordon. Their relationship is built on mutual respect and a shared commitment to justice in Gotham City. In Batman, Year One, Gordon and Batman learn to trust each other, which transforms their efforts against crime into a more effective partnership. Gordon's perspective as a police officer complements Batman's vigilantism, allowing them to tackle Gotham's challenges together. Another important ally is the Justice League, which further emphasizes the importance of collaboration. Batman's relationship with Superman showcases how their contrasting ideologies can complement each other. In stories like World's Finest, their friendship highlights how Batman's methods benefit from Superman's optimism and strength. 54. Sidekicks. Main article, Robin, character. Batman and Robin, art by Jack Burnley. Robin, Batman's vigilante partner, has been a widely recognized supporting character for many years. Each iteration of the Robin character, of which there have been 5 in the mainstream continuity, function as members of the Batman family, but additionally, as Batman's central sidekick in various media. 55. Bill Finger stated that he wanted to include Robin because Batman didn't have anyone to talk to, and it got a little tiresome always having him thinking. 56. The first Robin, Dick Grayson, was introduced in 1940. In the 1970s he finally grew up, went off to college and became the hero Nightwing. A second Robin, Jason Todd, was introduced in the 1980s, following Dick Grayson's departure from the role. Initially impulsive and rebellious, Jason's tenure as Robin was controversial among fans. In 1988, DC held a fan vote to determine his fate in the iconic A Death in the Family storyline, where the Joker brutally beat Jason with a crowbar and left him to die in an explosion. The fans voted for his death. However, Jason was later resurrected and returned as the anti-hero Red Hood. 57. The third Robin in the mainstream comics is Tim Drake, who first appeared in 1989. He went on to star in his own comic series, and goes by the name Red Robin, a variation on the traditional Robin persona. In the first decade of the new millennium, Stephanie Brown served as the fourth in-universe Robin between stints as her self-made vigilante identity The Spoiler, and later as Batgirl. 58. After Brown's apparent death, Drake resumed the role of Robin for a time. The role eventually passed to Damian Wayne, the 10-year-old son of Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul, in the late 2000s. 59. Damian's tenure as du jour Robin ended when the character was killed off in the pages of Batman Incorporated in 2013. 60. Batman's next young sidekick is Harper Row, a streetwise young woman who avoids the name Robin but followed the ornithological theme nonetheless. She debuted the codename and identity of the Bluebird in 2014. Unlike the Robins, the Bluebird is willing and permitted to use a gun, albeit non-lethal. Her weapon of choice is a modified rifle that fires taser rounds. 61. In 2015, a new series began titled We Are, Robin, focused on a group of teenagers using the Robin persona to fight crime in Gotham City. The most prominent of these, Duke Thomas, later becomes Batman's crime-fighting partner as the Signal. 62. Romantic interests. Batman's romantic history spans decades, filled with relationships that reflect his struggle between personal happiness and his duty as Gotham's protector. His first love interest was Julie Madison, introduced in Detective Comics number 31, 1939. Though engaged to Bruce Wayne, she left due to his distant and playboy persona, highlighting the conflict between Bruce's dual life and his desire for a normal relationship. 63. Selina Kyle, also known as Catwoman, is perhaps the most notable figure in Batman's romantic history. Debuting in Batman number 1, 1940, their relationship is characterized by a blend of romance and rivalry. Over the years, they have shared intense connections, often navigating the fine line between love and conflict. Their relationship culminated in an engagement during the DC Rebirth. 63. Another important figure is Vicky Vale, a journalist introduced in Batman number 49, 1948. Vicky's attempts to uncover Batman's true identity lead to a complicated romantic involvement that waxed and waned over the years, especially during the early 1980s when their relationship became more serious. 63. Talia al Ghul, introduced in Detective Comics number 411, 1971, is another key player in Batman's love life. Their relationship is fraught with conflict due to her father, Ra's al Ghul, and his criminal ambitions. Despite the challenges, their love story resulted in the birth of Damian Wayne, who would grow to become the latest Robin and add a new layer of complexity to Batman's character. 63. Additionally, Batman's relationship with Wonder Woman has been explored in various storylines, including a passionate kiss in JLA, 2003, during a moment of crisis. However, their relationship remains largely unexplored, often overshadowed by their respective commitments. 64. One of the most controversial romantic pairings emerged from the animated adaptation of Batman, The Killing Joke, 2016, which depicted a brief romantic involvement between Batman and Batgirl, Barbara Gordon. This portrayal sparked significant criticism among fans, reflecting the challenges and complexities of Batman's romantic entanglements over the years. 65. Abilities, skills and training. Batman has no inherent superhuman powers. He relies on his own scientific knowledge, detective skills, and athletic prowess. 66. Batman's inexhaustible wealth gives him access to advanced technologies, and as a proficient scientist, he is able to use and modify these technologies to his advantage. In the stories, Batman is regarded as one of the world's greatest detectives, if not the world's greatest crime solver. 67. Batman has been repeatedly described as having a genius-level intellect, being one of the greatest martial artists in the DC universe, and having peak human physical and mental conditioning. 68. As a polymath, his knowledge and expertise in countless disciplines is nearly unparalleled by any other character in the DC universe. He has shown prowess in assorted fields such as mathematics, biology, physics, chemistry, and several levels of engineering. 69. He has traveled the world acquiring the skills needed to aid him in his endeavors as Batman. In the Superman, Doomed story arc, Superman considers Batman to be one of the most brilliant minds on the planet. 70. Batman has trained extensively in various fighting styles, making him one of the best hand-to-hand fighters in the DC universe. He possesses a photographic memory 71 and has fully utilized his photographic memory to master a total of 127 forms of martial arts. 72. In terms of his physical condition, Batman is described as peak human and far beyond an Olympic athlete-level condition, able to perform feats such as easily running across rooftops in a parkouresque fashion, pressing thousands of pounds regularly, and even bench pressing 600 pounds of soil and coffin in a poisoned and starved state. Superman describes Batman as the most dangerous man on Earth, able to defeat an entire team of superpowered extraterrestrials by himself in order to rescue his imprisoned teammates in Grant Morrison's first storyline in JLA. Batman is strongly disciplined, and he has the ability to function under great physical pain and resist most forms of telepathy and mind control. He is a master of disguise, multilingual, and an expert in espionage, often gathering information under the identity of a notorious gangster named Matches Malone. Batman is highly skilled in stealth movement and escapology, which allows him to appear and disappear at will and to break free of nearly inescapable death traps with little to no harm. He is also a master strategist, considered DC's greatest tactician, with numerous plans in preparation for almost any eventuality. Batman is an expert in interrogation techniques, and his intimidating and frightening appearance alone is often all that is needed in getting information from suspects. Despite having the potential to harm his enemies, Batman's most defining characteristic is his strong commitment to justice and his reluctance to take a life. This unyielding moral rectitude has earned him the respect of several heroes in the DC universe, most notably that of Superman and Wonder Woman. Among physical and other crime-fighting related training, he is also proficient at other types of skills. Some of these include being a licensed pilot, in order to operate the Batplane, as well as being able to operate other types of machinery. In some publications, he even underwent some magician training. Technology. Batman utilizes a vast arsenal of specialized, high-tech vehicles and gadgets in his war against crime, the designs of which usually share a bat motif. Batman historian Leigh Daniels credits Gardner Fox with creating the concept of Batman's arsenal with the introduction of the utility belt in Detective Comics number 29, July 1939, and the first bat-themed weapons the Batarang and the Bat Gyro in Detective Comics number 31 and 32, September and October 1939. 73. Personal armor. Main article, Batsuit. Batman's Batsuit aids in his combat against enemies, having the properties of both Kevlar and Nomex. It protects him from gunfire and other significant impacts, and incorporates the imagery of a bat in order to frighten criminals. 74. The details of the Batman costume change repeatedly through various decades, stories, media, and artists' interpretations, but the most distinctive elements remain consistent: a scallop hem cape, a cowl covering most of the face, a pair of bat-like ears, a stylized bat emblem on the chest, and the ever-present utility belt. His gloves typically feature 3 scallops that protrude from long, gauntlet-like cuffs, although in his earliest appearances he wore short, plain gloves without the scallops. 75. The overall look of the character, particularly the length of the cowl's ears and of the cape, varies greatly depending on the artist. Dennis O'Neil said, "We now say that Batman has 200 suits hanging in the Batcave so they don't have to look the same. Everybody loves to draw Batman, and everybody wants to put their own spin on it." 76. Finger and Kane originally conceptualized Batman as having a black cape and cowl and gray suit, but conventions in coloring called for black to be highlighted with blue. 74. Hence, the costume's colors have appeared in the comics as dark blue and gray 74 as well as black and gray. In the Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns films, Batman has been depicted as completely black with a bat in the middle surrounded by a yellow background. Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy depicted Batman wearing high-tech gear painted completely black with a black bat in the middle. Ben Affleck's Batman in the DC Extended Universe films wears a suit gray in color with a black cowl, cape, and bat symbol. Seemingly following the suit of the DC Extended Universe outfit, Robert Pattinson's uniform in the Batman restores the more traditional gray bodysuit and black appendage design, notably different from prior iterations by mostly utilizing real-world armor and apparel pieces from modern military and motorcycle gear. Batmobile. Main article, Batmobile. The 1966 television Batmobile, built by George Barris from a Lincoln Futura concept car. Batman's primary vehicle is the Batmobile, which is usually depicted as an imposing black car, often with tail fins that suggest a bat's wings. Batman also has an aircraft called the Batplane, originally a relatively traditionally, but bat-motifed plane, later seen as the much more unique Batwing starting in the 1989 film, along with various other means of transportation. In proper practice, the Bat prefix, as in Batmobile or Batarang, is rarely used by Batman himself when referring to his equipment, particularly after some portrayals, primarily the 1960s Batman live-action television show and the Super Friends animated series, stretched the practice to campy proportions. For example, the 1960s television show depicted a Batboat, Bat-Sub, and Bat-Cycle, among other Bat-themed vehicles. The 1960s television series Batman has an arsenal that includes such Bat- names as the Bat Computer, Bat Scanner, Bat Radar, Bat Cuffs, Bat Pontoons, Bat Drinking Water Dispenser, Bat Camera with Polarized Bat Filter, Bat Shark Repellent Bat Spray, and Bat Rope. The storyline A Death in the Family suggests that given Batman's grim nature, he is unlikely to have adopted the Bat prefix on his own. In The Dark Knight Returns, Batman tells Carrie Kelly that the original Robin came up with the name Batmobile when he was young, since that is what a kid would call Batman's vehicle. The Batmobile, which was before frequently depicted to resemble a sports car, was redesigned in 2011 when DC Comics relaunched its entire line of comic books, with the Batmobile being given heavier armor and new aesthetics. Utility belt. Main article, Batman's utility belt. Batman keeps most of his field equipment in his utility belt. Over the years it has shown to contain an assortment of crime-fighting tools, weapons, and investigative and technological instruments. Different versions of the belt have these items stored in compartments, often as pouches or hard cylinders attached evenly around it. Since the 1989 film, Batman is often depicted as carrying a projectile which shoots a retractable grappling hook attached to a cable. Before this, he employed a traditionally thrown grappling hook. This allows him to attach to distant objects, be propelled into the air, and thus swing from the rooftops of Gotham City. An exception to the range of Batman's equipment are handguns, which he refuses to use on principle, since a gun was used in his parents' murder. In modern stories in terms of his vehicles, Batman compromises on that principle to install weapon systems on them for the purpose of non-lethally disabling other vehicles, forcing entry into locations and attacking dangerous targets too large to defeat by other means. Bat signal. Main article, Bat signal. When Batman is needed, the Gotham City Police activate a searchlight with a bat-shaped insignia over the lens called the bat signal, which shines into the night sky, creating a bat symbol on a passing cloud which can be seen from any point in Gotham. The origin of the signal varies, depending on the continuity and medium. In various incarnations, most notably the 1960s Batman TV series, Commissioner Gordon also has a dedicated phone line, dubbed the Bat Phone, connected to a bright red telephone, in the TV series, which sits on a wooden base and has a transparent top. The line connects directly to Batman's residence, Wayne Manor, specifically both to a similar phone sitting on the desk in Bruce Wayne's study and the extension phone in the Batcave. Batcave. Main article, Batcave. The Batcave is Batman's secret headquarters, consisting of a series of caves beneath his mansion, Wayne Manor. As his command center, the Batcave serves multiple purposes: supercomputer, surveillance, redundant power generators, forensics lab, medical infirmary, private study, training dojo, fabrication workshop, arsenal, hangar, and garage. It houses the vehicles and equipment Batman uses in his campaign to fight crime. It is also a trophy room and storage facility for Batman's unique memorabilia collected over the years from various cases he has worked on. In both the comic book Batman, Shadow of the Bat number 45 and the 2005 film Batman Begins, the cave is said to have been part of the Underground Railroad. Fictional character biography. Batman's history has undergone many retroactive continuity revisions, both minor and major. Elements of the character's history have varied greatly. Scholars William Uricchio and Roberta E. Pearson noted in the early 1990s, unlike some fictional characters, the Batman has no primary urtext set in a specific period, but has rather existed in a plethora of equally valid texts constantly appearing over more than 5 decades. 77. 20th century. Origin. Main article, Origin of Batman. Thomas and Martha Wayne are shot by Joe Chill in Detective Comics number 33, November 1939, art by Bob Kane. The central fixed event in the Batman stories is the character's origin story. 36 As a young boy, Bruce Wayne was horrified and traumatized when he watched his parents, the physician Dr. Thomas Wayne and his wife Martha, murdered with a gun by a mugger named Joe Chill. Batman refuses to utilize any sort of gun on the principle that a gun was used to murder his parents. This event drove him to train his body to its peak condition and fight crime in Gotham City as Batman. Pearson and Uricchio also noted beyond the origin story and such events as the introduction of Robin, until recently, the fixed and accruing and hence, canonized, events have been few in number. 36 A situation altered by an increased effort by later Batman editors such as Dennis O'Neil to ensure consistency and continuity between stories. 78. Golden Age. See also, Batman, Earth 2. In Batman's first appearance in Detective Comics number 27, he is already operating as a crime fighter. 79 Batman's origin is first presented in Detective Comics number 33, November 1939, and is later expanded upon in Batman number 47. As these comics state, Bruce Wayne is born to Dr. Thomas Wayne and his wife Martha, two very wealthy and charitable Gotham City socialites. Bruce is brought up in Wayne Manor, and leads a happy and privileged existence until the age of 8, when his parents are killed by a small-time criminal named Joe Chill while on their way home from a movie theater. That night, Bruce Wayne swears an oath to spend his life fighting crime. He engages in intense intellectual and physical training. However, he realizes that these skills alone would not be enough. "Criminals are a superstitious, cowardly lot," Wayne remarks, "so my disguise must be able to strike terror into their hearts. I must be a creature of the night, black, terrible." As if responding to his desires, a bat suddenly flies through the window, inspiring Bruce to craft the Batman persona. 80. In early strips, Batman's career as a vigilante earns him the ire of the police. During this period, Bruce Wayne has a fiancée named Julie Madison. 81 In Detective Comics number 38, Wayne takes in an orphaned circus acrobat, Dick Grayson, who becomes his vigilante partner, Robin. Batman also becomes a founding member of the Justice Society of America 82, although he, like Superman, is an honorary member 83 and thus only participates occasionally. Batman's relationship with the law thaws quickly, and he is made an honorary member of Gotham City's police department. 84 During this time, Alfred Pennyworth arrives at Wayne Manor, and after deducing the dynamic duo's secret identities, joins their service as their butler. 85. Silver Age. The Silver Age of comic books in DC Comics is sometimes held to have begun in 1956 when the publisher introduced Barry Allen as a new, updated version of The Flash. Batman is not significantly changed by the late 1950s for the continuity which would be later referred to as Earth 1. The lighter tone Batman had taken in the period between the Golden and Silver Ages led to the stories of the late 1950s and early 1960s that often feature many science fiction elements, and Batman is not significantly updated in the manner of other characters until Detective Comics number 327, May 1964, in which Batman reverts to his detective roots, with most science fiction elements jettisoned from the series. After the introduction of DC Comics multiverse in the 1960s, DC established that stories from the Golden Age star the Earth 2 Batman, a character from a parallel world. This version of Batman partners with and marries the reformed Earth 2 Catwoman, Selina Kyle. The two have a daughter, Helena Wayne, who becomes the Huntress. She assumes the position as Gotham's protector along with Dick Grayson, the Earth 2 Robin, once Bruce Wayne retires to become police commissioner. Wayne holds the position of police commissioner until he is killed during one final adventure as Batman. Batman titles, however, often ignored that a distinction had been made between the pre-revamp and post-revamp Batman, since unlike The Flash or Green Lantern, Batman comics had been published without interruption through the 1950s, and would occasionally make reference to stories from the Golden Age. 86 Nevertheless, details of Batman's history were altered or expanded upon through the decades. Additions include meetings with a future Superman during his youth, his upbringing by his uncle Philip Wayne, introduced in Batman number 208, February 1969, after his parents' death, and appearances of his father and himself as prototypical versions of Batman and Robin, respectively. 87-88 In 1980, then-editor Paul Levitz commissioned the Untold Legend of the Batman miniseries to thoroughly chronicle Batman's origin and history. Batman meets and regularly works with other heroes during the Silver Age, most notably Superman, whom he began regularly working alongside in a series of Team UPS in World's Finest Comics, starting in 1954 and continuing through the series' cancellation in 1986. Batman and Superman are usually depicted as close friends. As a founding member of the Justice League of America, Batman appears in its first story, in 1960's The Brave and the Bold number 28. In the 1970s and 1980s, The Brave and the Bold became a Batman title, in which Batman teams up with a different DC Universe superhero each month. Bronze Age. In 1969, Dick Grayson attends college as part of DC Comics' effort to revise the Batman comics. Additionally, Batman also moves from his mansion, Wayne Manor, into a penthouse apartment atop the Wayne Foundation building in downtown Gotham City, in order to be closer to Gotham City's crime. In 1974's Night of the Stalkers storyline, a diploma on the wall reveals Bruce Wayne as a graduate of Yale Law School. 89 Batman spends the 1970s and early 1980s mainly working solo, with occasional team ups with Robin or Batgirl. Batman's adventures also become somewhat darker and more grim during this period, depicting increasingly violent crimes, including the first appearance, since the early Golden Age, of the Joker as a homicidal psychopath, and the arrival of Ra's al Ghul, a centuries-old terrorist who knows Batman's secret identity. In the 1980s, Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing. 90. In the final issue of The Brave and the Bold in 1983, Batman quits the Justice League and forms a new group called the Outsiders. He serves as the team's leader until Batman and the Outsiders number 32, 1986, and the comic subsequently changed its title. Modern Age. After the 12-issue miniseries Crisis on Infinite Earths, DC Comics retconned the histories of some major characters in an attempt at updating them for contemporary audiences. Frank Miller retold Batman's origin in the storyline Year One from Batman #404-407, which emphasizes a grittier tone in the character. 91 Though the Earth 2 Batman is erased from history, many stories of Batman's Silver Age/Earth 1 career, along with an amount of Golden Age ones, remain canonical in the post-Crisis universe, with his origins remaining the same in essence, despite alteration. For example, Gotham's police are mostly corrupt, setting up further need for Batman's existence. The Guardian Philip Wayne is removed, leaving young Bruce to be raised by Alfred Pennyworth. Additionally, Batman is no longer a founding member of the Justice League of America, although he becomes leader for a short time of a new incarnation of the team launched in 1987. To help fill in the revised backstory for Batman following Crisis, DC launched a new Batman title called Legends of the Dark Knight in 1989 and has published various miniseries and one-shot stories since then that largely take place during the Year One period. 92. Subsequently, Batman begins exhibiting an excessive, reckless approach to his crime fighting, a result of the pain of losing Jason Todd. Batman works solo until the decade's close, when Tim Drake becomes the new Robin. 93. Many of the major Batman storylines since the 1990s have been intertitle crossovers that run for a number of issues. In 1993, DC published Nightfall. During the storyline's first phase, the new villain Bane paralyzes Batman, leading Wayne to ask Azrael to take on the role. After the end of Nightfall, the storyline split in two directions, following both the Azrael Batman's adventures, and Bruce Wayne's quest to become Batman once more. The story arcs realign in Night's End, as Azrael becomes increasingly violent and is defeated by a healed Bruce Wayne. Wayne hands the Batman mantle to Dick Grayson, then Nightwing, for an interim period, while Wayne trains for a return to the role. 94. The 1994 company-wide crossover storyline 0 Hour, Crisis in Time, changes aspects of DC continuity again, including those of Batman. Noteworthy among these changes is that the general populace and the criminal element now consider Batman an urban legend rather than a known force. Batman once again becomes a member of the Justice League during Grant Morrison's 1996 relaunch of the series, titled JLA. During this time, Gotham City faces catastrophe in the decade's closing crossover arc. In 1998's Cataclysm storyline, Gotham City is devastated by an earthquake and ultimately cut off from the United States. Deprived of many of his technological resources, Batman fights to reclaim the city from legions of gangs during 1999's No Man's Land. Meanwhile, Batman's relationship with the Gotham City Police Department changed for the worse with the events of Batman, Officer Down and Batman, War Games/War Crimes. Batman's longtime law enforcement allies Commissioner Gordon and Harvey Bullock are forced out of the police department in Officer Down, while War Games and War Crimes saw Batman become a wanted fugitive after a contingency plan of his to neutralize Gotham City's criminal underworld is accidentally triggered, resulting in a massive gang war that ends with Black Mask becoming the undisputed ruler of the city's criminal gangs. Lex Luthor arranges for the murder of Batman's on-again, off-again love interest Vesper Fairchild, introduced in the mid-1990s, during the Bruce Wayne, Murderer, and Bruce Wayne, Fugitive story arcs. Though Batman is able to clear his name, he loses another ally in the form of his new bodyguard Sasha Bordeaux, who is recruited into the organization Checkmate while stuck in prison due to her refusal to turn state's evidence against her employer. While he was unable to prove that Luthor was behind the murder of Vesper, Batman does get his revenge with help from Talia al Ghul in Superman/Batman #1/6. 21st century. 2000s. DC Comics 2005 miniseries Identity Crisis reveals that JLA member Zatanna had edited Batman's memories to prevent him from stopping the Justice League from lobotomizing Dr. Light after he raped Sue Dibney. Batman later creates the satellite surveillance system Brother Eye to watch over and, if necessary, kill the other heroes after he remembered. The revelation of Batman's creation and his tacit responsibility for Blue Beetle's death becomes a driving force in the lead-up to the Infinite Crisis miniseries, which again restructures DC continuity. Batman and a team of superheroes destroy Brother Eye and the OMACs, though, at the very end, Batman reaches his apparent breaking point when Alexander Luthor Jr. seriously wounds Nightwing. Picking up a gun, Batman nearly shoots Luthor in order to avenge his former sidekick, until Wonder Woman convinces him to not pull the trigger. Following Infinite Crisis, Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, having recovered from his wounds, and Tim Drake retrace the steps Bruce had taken when he originally left Gotham City, to rebuild Batman. 95 In the Face storyline, Batman and Robin return to Gotham City after their year-long absence. Part of this absence is captured during week 30 of the 52 series, which shows Batman fighting his inner demons. 96 Later on in 52, Batman is shown undergoing an intense meditation ritual in Nanda Parbat. This becomes an important part of the regular Batman title, which reveals that Batman is reborn as a more effective crime fighter while undergoing this ritual, having hunted down and ate the last traces of fear in his mind. 97-98 At the end of the Face story arc, Bruce officially adopts Tim, who had lost both of his parents at various points in the character's history, as his son. 99 The follow-up story arc in Batman and Son, introduces Damian Wayne, who is Batman's son with Talia al Ghul. Although originally, in Batman, Son of the Demon, Bruce's coupling with Talia was implied to be consensual, this arc retconned it into Talia forcing herself on Bruce. 100. Batman, along with Superman and Wonder Woman, reforms the Justice League in the new Justice League of America Series 101 and is leading the newest incarnation of the Outsiders. 102. Grant Morrison's 2008 storyline, Batman R.I.P. featured Batman being physically and mentally broken by the enigmatic villain Dr. Hurt and attracted news coverage in advance of its highly promoted conclusion, which would speculate it to feature the death of Bruce Wayne. 103 However, though Batman is shown to possibly perish at the end of the arc, the two-issue arc Last Rites, which leads into the crossover storyline Final Crisis, shows that Batman survives his helicopter crash into the Gotham City River and returns to the Batcave, only to be summoned to the Hall of Justice by the JLA to help investigate the new god Orion's death. The story ends with Batman retrieving the god-killing bullet used to kill Orion, setting up its use in Final Crisis. 104 In the pages of Final Crisis, Batman is reduced to a charred skeleton. 105 In Final Crisis Number 7, Wayne is shown witnessing the death of the first man, Anthro. 106-107 Wayne's death sets up the three-issue battle for the Cal miniseries in which Wayne's ex-protégés compete for the right to assume the role of Batman, which concludes with Grayson becoming Batman. 108 While Tim Drake takes on the identity of the Red Robin. 109 Dick and Damian continue as Batman and Robin, and in the crossover storyline Blackest Night, what appears to be Wayne's corpse is reanimated as a Black Lantern zombie. 110 But is later shown that the corpse is one of Darkseid's failed Batman clones. Dick and Batman's other friends conclude that Bruce is alive. 111-112 2010s. Bruce subsequently returned in Morrison's miniseries Batman, The Return of Bruce Wayne, which depicted his travels through time from prehistory to present-day Gotham. 113 114 115 Bruce's return set up Batman Incorporated, an ongoing series which focused on Wayne franchising the Batman identity across the globe, allowing Dick and Damian to continue as Gotham's dynamic duo. Bruce publicly announced that Wayne Enterprises will aid Batman on his mission, known as Batman Incorporated. However, due to rebooted continuity that occurred as part of DC Comics' 2011 relaunch of all of its comic books, the New 52, Dick Grayson was restored as Nightwing with Wayne serving as the sole Batman once again. The relaunch also interrupted the publication of Batman Incorporated, which resumed its story in 2012 to 2013 with changes to suit the new status quo. The New 52. During the New 52, all of DC's continuity was reset and the timeline was changed, making Batman the first superhero to emerge. This emergence took place during Zero Year, where Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham and becomes Batman, fighting the original Red Hood. 116 and the Riddler. 117 In the present day, Batman discovers the Court of Owls, a secret organization operating in Gotham for decades. 118 Batman somewhat defeats the court by defeating Owlman. 119 Although the court continues to operate on a smaller scale. 120 The Joker returns after losing the skin on his face, as shown in the opening issue of the second volume of Detective Comics, and attempts to kill the Batman's allies, though he is stopped by Batman. 121 After some time, Joker returns again, and both he and Batman die while fighting each other. Jim Gordon temporarily becomes Batman, using a high-tech suit, while it is revealed that an amnesiac Bruce Wayne is still alive. Citation needed. Gordon attempts to fight a new villain called Mr. Bloom, while Wayne regains his memories with the help of Alfred Pennyworth and Julie Madison. Once with his memories, Wayne becomes Batman again and defeats Bloom with the help of Gordon. Citation needed. DC Rebirth. Batman on the variant cover of Detective Comics #1000, May 2019. Art by Jason Fabok. The timeline was reset again during Rebirth, although no significant changes were made to the Batman mythos. Citation needed. Batman meets two new superheroes operating in Gotham named Gotham and Gotham Girl. Psycho Pirate gets into Gotham's head and turns against Batman, and is finally defeated when he is killed. This event is very traumatic for Gotham Girl and she begins to lose her sanity. 122. Batman forms his own Suicide Squad, including Catwoman, and attempts to take down Bane. The mission is successful, and Batman breaks Bane's back. 123. Batman proposes to Catwoman. After healing from his wounds, an angry Bane travels to Gotham, where he fights Batman and loses. 124. Batman then tells Catwoman about the war of jokes and riddles, and she agrees to marry him. 125. Bane takes control of Arkham Asylum and manipulates Catwoman into leaving Wayne before the wedding. 126. This causes Wayne to become very angry, and, as Batman, lashes out against criminals, nearly killing Mr. Freeze. 127. Batman learns of Bane's control over Arkham and teams up with the Penguin to stop him. 128 Bane captures Batman, and Scarecrow causes him to hallucinate, although he eventually breaks free. 129 Batman escapes and reunites with Catwoman, while Bane captures and kills Alfred Pennyworth. Batman returns and defeats Bane, although too late to save Alfred. Gotham Girl prompts him to marry Catwoman. 130. It is revealed that the Joker who was working for Bane was Clayface in disguise. The real Joker has been plotting a master plan to take over Gotham. This plan comes to fruition during the Joker War, in which Joker takes over the city. Batman defeats the Joker, who vanishes after an explosion. 131 Ghostmaker, an enemy from Batman's past, appears in Gotham, and, after a battle, becomes a sort of ally to Batman. 132 A new group called the Magistrate rises up in Gotham, led by Simon Saint, whose goal is to outlaw vigilantes such as Batman. At the same time, Scarecrow returns. 133 Fighting Batman. During Fear State, Batman battles and defeats both Scarecrow and the Magistrate's peacekeepers. Other versions. Main article, alternative versions of Batman. The character of Batman has been portrayed in numerous alternative versions across various media since his debut in 1939. These adaptations explore different facets and interpretations of the character. In Smallville, Bruce Wayne adopts the Batman persona in 2001, later teaming up with Superman and other superheroes. 134 Frank Miller's influential series, The Dark Knight Returns, reimagines Batman as an older, more hardened vigilante, coming out of retirement to fight crime in a dystopian future. 135. In the Injustice, Gods Among Us universe, Batman leads a resistance against a tyrannical Superman who has taken control of Earth. The DC Bombshell series sets Batman in a World War II-era context, with Bruce Wayne taking inspiration from Batwoman to become the masked hero. The Dark Multiverse introduces various twisted versions of Batman, such as the Batman Who Laughs, a hybrid of Batman and the Joker, and Red Death, a fusion of Batman and the Flash. Other notable reimaginings include JLA/Avengers, where Batman appears in a crossover with Marvel's Avengers, Stan Lee's Just Imagine, which offers a completely different origin for Batman, and Kingdom Come, where an older Batman operates in a dystopian future alongside other aged superheroes. In Superman, American Alien, Bruce Wayne's journey is retold with significant differences, and Batman, White Knight explores a reality where the Joker is cured of his insanity and seeks to expose Batman as the true villain of Gotham. These various adaptations and reinterpretations highlight the versatility and enduring appeal of Batman as a character, allowing for a rich exploration of his mythology across different narratives and settings. In popular culture. Main article, Batman in popular culture. Batman has ascended to the status of a global pop culture phenomenon, transcending his origins in comic books. His influence expanded notably with the release of the 1989 film, which propelled him to the forefront of public consciousness through widespread merchandising. The Guardian describes Batman as emblematic of the constant reinvention characteristic of modern mass culture, embodying both iconic status and commercial appeal, making him a quintessential cultural artifact of the 21st century. 136. Media appearances. Main article, Batman franchise. Apart from comics, Batman's presence spans various mediums, including newspapers, radio dramas, television, stage, and film. From the 1940s serials to contemporary TV shows like Gotham and Titans, Batman's legacy endures. Celebrating the character's 75th anniversary, Warner Bros. Released Batman, Strange Days, showcasing his timeless appeal. 137. In September 2024, Batman became the first superhero to be given a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It was the 2790th star. 138. Criticism. Batman has been criticized by fans for the extreme changes in tone and style between different iterations of the character in the franchise. 139. Different interpretations. Further information: homosexuality in the Batman franchise and Batman in popular culture. Psychological interpretation. Gay interpretations of Batman have been studied academically since psychologist Frederick Wertham's claims in 1954. 140. Andy Medhurst and Will Brooker have explored Batman's appeal to gay audiences and the validity of a queer reading. 141. Meanwhile, in psychological interpretations, Dr. Travis Langley sees Batman as representing the shadow archetype, confronting inner darkness to fight evil, according to Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell's theories. Langley's analysis adds depth to Batman's psychological complexity. Damian Wayne is a superhero appearing in American comic books published by DC Comics, commonly in association with Batman. He was created by Grant Morrison and Andy Kubert. Damian Wayne is the biological son of Bruce Wayne/Batman. 3456. His mother is Batman's love interest Talia, daughter of Batman's adversary Ra's al Ghul 7, who wants Bruce Wayne to sire his future lineage. 8, 9, 10, 11. Talia calls off their marriage once she falls pregnant. 12 and tells Bruce she miscarried, keeping Damian's existence hidden until Batman number 656, 2006. Damian was intended to kill and replace Batman 13 and serve as a host body for Ra's al Ghul 14-15, which would unify the Wayne and al Ghul factions. 16-17. Damian is Bruce's youngest child and only biological one, with Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Cassandra Cain as his adopted siblings. A prototype of the character originally appeared as an unnamed infant in the 1987 story Batman, Son of the Demon 1819, which at the time was not considered canon. Following this, various alternate universe stories dealt with the character's life, giving him various names. In 2006, the character was reinterpreted as Damian Wayne by Grant Morrison, and introduced into the main continuity in Batman number 655, the first issue of the Batman and Son story arc. Damian Wayne is the fifth character to assume the role of Robin, Batman's vigilante partner. Damian, as a pre-adolescent, was left by his mother in the care of his father, who had been unaware of his existence. He is violent, self-important, and was trained by the League of Assassins, learning to kill at a young age, which troubles his relationship with his father, who refuses to kill. However, the Dark Knight does care for his lost progeny. 20. After the events of Batman RIP and Batman, Battle for the Cowl, he takes the role of Robin at 10 years of age, 21, becoming the fifth person to use the Robin persona. He first works with Dick Grayson before going to work alongside his father, upon his father's return to the role of Batman. Damian appears in the 2023 Christmas-themed animated film, Merry Little Batman, voiced by Jonas Kibrib, and will return in the upcoming TV series, Bat Fam, with Kibrib reprising his role. He is also slated to make his live-action debut in the film The Brave and the Bold, produced by DC Studios. 2223. Publication history. The child from Son of the Demon was used as a backup character in various stories before appearing as Damian Wayne. In the Elseworlds story, The Brotherhood of the Bat, 1995, a version named Talent Wayne appears, who crusades against his grandfather Ra's al Ghul. Brotherhood of the Bat features a future in which Ra's al Ghul discovers the Batcave following Bruce Wayne's death, and outfits the League of Assassins in variant Batman costumes based on Wayne's rejected designs. Talia and Bruce's son joins the Brotherhood in his father's costume, to destroy it from within. 24. In another Elseworlds story, Kingdom Come, 1996, by Mark Waid and Alex Ross, which functioned as a possible future to the canon of the time, this child of Batman and Talia is named Ibn al-Sufash, Arabic, literally son of the Bat, and is a member of Lex Luthor's inner circle. He works as a double agent for Batman in Luthor's organization, and thus aligned with his father instead of his maternal grandfather. 25. In the Eliot S. Magan novelization of Kingdom Come, Al-Sufash tells Bruce that his mother Talia is still alive and working as a mother superior in Cairo, one of Mother Teresa's successors. Al-Sufash reappears in Wade's 1999 sequel The Kingdom. The Kingdom, Son of the Bat shows flashbacks that shed new insights into Ibn al-Sufash's history, that he was reared by Ras Al Ghul to be the heir to his empire, that he eventually murdered his grandfather, cutting off his head to prevent yet another regeneration, and that he sought therapy from psychiatrist Dr. Gibson. He was eventually recruited by Rip Hunter to try to stop a madman named Gog from altering his history. He works with several other heroes of his generation, Kid Flash, the daughter of the Flash, Wally West, Nightstar, and Offspring, the son of Plastic Man. In League of Batman, 2001, the sequel to Brotherhood of the Bat, Talent leads his own team of variant Batmen to combat the plague that was Al Ghul's legacy. During the battle, Talent discovers that his grandfather is the one who murdered his father and then cloned him. Raz even sent the clone to murder his own daughter. Because of the deaths of his parents at Raz's hands, Talent has completed following his father's tragic path as Batman. The new Dark Knight desires justice for his parents along with trying to stop his grandfather while having to battle his father's murderous double. Grant Morrison's story titled Batman and Son, 2006, expands upon the Son of the Demon storyline as part of a remodeling of Batman's personality after the events of Infinite Crisis. In Morrison's version, the child Damian Wayne is the result of a tryst between Batman and Talia, during which the Dark Knight claims he was drugged when they were at the Tropic of Cancer, though Morrison later admitted the claim of drugging was a canonical error on their part. Since then, however, in issues of the Morrison-penned Batman Incorporated, the drugging is reaffirmed and is once again part of Damian's origin. 26 However, Batman and Talia's tryst was later shown as consensual in Peter J. Tomasi's Batman and Robin, thus the circumstances of Damian's conception can vary depending on the writers. 27-28. The final issue of 52, 2008, designates the Kingdom Come alternate universe as Earth 22, thus making the Ibn al-Sufash version of Bruce and Talia's son part of the DC multiverse. Justice Society of America Volume 3 Number 22, 2009, reveals that he would eventually marry Nightstar, with whom he would have a daughter and son, and his family has inherited the Wayne estates after Batman's death. Fictional character biography. Batman and Son. Main article, Batman and Son. Damian Wayne in Batman number 658, December 2006. Art by Andy Kubert. Damian's origin was unknown to Batman. Damian was genetically perfected and grown in an artificial womb to be the perfect warrior. He is raised by his mother Talia Al Ghul and the League of Assassins. He becomes a talented martial artist before his teenage years, at which time Talia reveals Damian's existence to Bruce Wayne and leaves him in his custody in an effort to disrupt his work. Precocious, spoiled, and violent, Damian battles Tim Drake, whom he wants to replace as Robin, and sucker punches Tim off the stuffed Tyrannosaurus in the Batcave when Tim stops fighting to help him. Damian then escapes, dons a variant Robin costume made of Jason Todd's old tunic and mask and assorted League of Assassin gear, and fights and kills the villainous Spook. Although misguided, Damian seems to genuinely want to aid Bruce's war on crime as he is Bruce's son and wants his approval. Unfortunately, because of how he was raised, Damian lacks any sort of common sense with regard to social behavior and believes that to be accepted by his father, he must kill any rivals, which included Tim Drake. This troubles his relationship with Batman, who vows never to kill. However, because of his possible paternity to Damian, Batman, on some levels, is optimistic about the chance of fatherhood. Eventually, Batman confronts Talia to confirm Damian's true identity, but both Talia and Damian are soon caught in an explosion which they survive. However, Damian's badly injured body requires transplants of harvested organs, which his mother orders her physicians to carry out. Damian makes a full recovery. 29. The Resurrection of Ras Al Ghul. Main article, Batman, The Resurrection of Ra's al Ghul. Beginning in Batman Annual number 26, Head of the Demon, Talia takes Damian to the Australian outback, where he is tutored in the secret history of his grandfather Ra's al Ghul. Talia is unaware that White Ghost, a former servant of Ra's, plans to use him to resurrect Ra's, which would kill him in the process. Talia is able to save her son from his fate at the last minute. Ra's is still able to return, but as a rotting, undead corpse, still needing Damian to stabilize his form. Damian flees to alert Batman but is pursued by his evil grandfather. Upon entering Wayne Manor, Damian attempts to relay to Tim Drake the fact that Ra's has returned. Tim, suspicious of Damian's intentions, does not believe his story and begins a fist fight. Damian flees and encounters Alfred. Before he can effectively relay his news, he is attacked by Tim, who perceives Damian's attempt to help a tripping Alfred as an attack, and renews their battle. As they fight, members of the League of Assassins approach the manor with the intention of killing everyone within and bringing Damian back to Ra's alive. Damian and Tim fight side by side against Ra's and his minions. Their collaboration is hindered by their very different philosophies of battle. Damian is willing to betray Tim at any moment for his own safety. Ra's captures the two and tells Batman that he will use one of them for his own body. Batman offers his own body instead. Ra's refuses the offer, feeling that he needs someone of a younger age. The choices are Tim or Damian. Batman offers a third alternative, the Fountain of Essence, which contains the qualities of a Lazarus pit. Batman and Ra's go in search of the fountain, leaving Tim, Damian, Nightwing, Alfred, and Talia to battle the Sensei. Damian leaves his mother and Tim to an unknown fate, while he goes off to be with his father. He ends up captured by Ra's and is nearly killed. Batman and the others manage to save him, and Talia takes her son and escapes. A subsequent conversation between Tim and Alfred implies that Batman has carried out a DNA test on Damian. Alfred says Bruce intended to tell him the results when the time was right. At this, Tim realizes that Damian is indeed Bruce's son, and exclaims, "The son of Satan is my brother." 30. Batman R.I.P. Main article, Batman R.I.P. Prior to the start of Grant Morrison's Batman R.I.P. story arc in Batman number 675, Damian senses that someone is out to get Batman. In response to this, Talia begins formulating a plan involving Commissioner James Gordon, whom Talia and Damian rescue from a booby-trapped Wayne Manor while in search of Batman, who is insane and has gone missing. Damian and Alfred race to aid Batman against the Black Glove in a commandeered Batmobile. Damian, who is driving, knocks an ambulance off a bridge without any sign of remorse or even concern. When Alfred reprimands him, Damian retorts with a backhanded threat. The only occupant of the ambulance was the Joker. Battle for the Cowl. Main article, Batman, Battle for the Cowl. In Nightwing number 153, 2009, Damian is shown being left in Alfred's care and trained by Dick Grayson, alias Nightwing. Upon the start of Batman, Battle for the Cowl, it appears that Damian is now residing in Gotham, and living under the command of Nightwing, to an extent. Where before Damian portrayed an arrogant and vicious personality, it appears the death of his father has regressed him to a more childlike mindset, as demonstrated when he takes the Batmobile joyriding with an older girl. This is discovered by Oracle, who ejects the girl and takes control of the Batmobile, intent on taking Damian home. The car is blindsided by Killer Croc and Poison Ivy, who prepares to kill Damian. The older girl, Damian's companion, is later eaten by Killer Croc. 31 Damian is saved by Nightwing, who ends up being cornered by Black Mask's men until a murderous figure appears stating that he is Batman, later revealed to be Jason Todd. Although shot by Todd, Damian recovers and saves Tim Drake from falling to death inside Jason's Batcave. 32 When Grayson hangs up his Nightwing mantle to become the newest Batman, he chooses Damian to assume the mantle of Robin by his side. 33. Batman, Reborn. Main article, Batman, Reborn. Despite becoming Robin to Grayson's Batman, Damian reveals that he cares little for his older brother and has no respect for him as Batman, and that the latter would have to earn it. In an act of defiance, Damian decides to make the Robin mantle independent from that of Batman and decides to stop Dr. Phosphorus from breaking into Project Cadmus 34, but fails miserably and is saved by Dick. 35 Dick then begins to train Damian as to how to properly become the new Robin, and the two develop their own unique crime-fighting style. Dick and Damian soon encounter a villain called Professor PYG, who has created an army called Dolatrons. 35 Dick and Damian take the entire army down and begin to form a brotherly relationship. 36 Damian blames himself for being unable to save a single Dolatron, a girl named Sasha, but unbeknownst to him, the girl is taken in by Jason Todd, who had shot Damian. She therefore becomes the new Robin's opposite in Red Hood's no-holds-barred war against crime. Red Hood's maxim is let the punishment fit the crime. 37. Damian and Dick then attack Firefly, who is attempting to kill Black Mask. Victor Zsasz defeats Robin and rescues Black Mask while Dick takes down Firefly. These events cause Hush to escape, causing Damian to grow a further hatred for the criminal. Damian is present when Dick is inducted into the JLA. Upon hearing this, Damian demands to be inducted along with Dick, but his demands are promptly ignored. Damian is once again saved by Dick, with the assistance of Azrael, after a man named Amon tries to sacrifice him. Sasha, now dubbed Scarlet by Todd, returns and attacks Robin, as Jason attacks Dick. 38 The two duos battle it out until the arrival of the Flamingo, who temporarily paralyzes Damian by shooting his back. 39 Talia replaces Damian's spine 40 but puts in a monitor connected to his brain, allowing her to control his every movement. 41. As Dick and Damian go through various events together, such as against the Black Mask, the Blackest Night, and a rogue Batman clone corpse, the two bond even more, prompting Talia to give over control of the monitor to Deathstroke, who tries to use it to kill Dick. Working together, Dick and Damian manage to stop Deathstroke. As Dick cares little for the financial problems of Wayne Enterprises despite inheriting it from Bruce along with Tim, Damian decides to involve himself and manages to impress the board of directors. 42 While he does not file a lawsuit against Dick, due to Grayson not being named the heir of Wayne Enterprises but rather a high-ranking member, he does against Tim, who was named the heir to Wayne Enterprises. Red Robin. In a flashback, Damian mocks Tim Drake, now Red Robin, after Dick has taken the role of Robin from Tim and given it to Damian. 43 This prompts Tim to attack Damian, only to be stopped by Dick. After Tim leaves, Damian starts engaging in chess games with Hush, visiting him secretly against Dick's orders. When Elliot asked why Damian is visiting him behind the Bat family's back, Damian shrugs it off as a desire to keep Elliot company. Elliot surmises that Damian is rather using the resemblance to Bruce to spend time with his old man. Later, Tim, who has been keeping a hit list of criminals and tasks, attracts Damian's fury when the latter hacks the hit list and discovers a hidden layer of allies to the Bat family considered potential threats by Tim, including Damian. During a stakeout mission, Damian severs Tim's line, causing him to fall from a great height. He survives, and Tim pulls Damian into an all-out brawl that begins with their Corey escaping and ends in front of the theater where Bruce Wayne's parents were killed. The two are stopped by Dick Grayson as Batman, who chastises them both for fighting in front of the theater where Batman was born. The two then enter into a grudging truce for the remainder of Damian's appearances in the series. Dick suggests changing the hit list password to Cousin Oliver, as Damian has little to no interest in pop culture references and would never guess it. Dick notes that his name is not on the list and Tim asserts it is because Dick is the only one who Tim trusts implicitly. Blackest Night. Main article, Blackest Night. After Bruce's skull was taken from his grave, Damian and Dick decide to bring the rest of his skeleton, along with those of Damian's paternal grandparents, to their base beneath Wayne Tower. Damien is quite shaken by the sight of the bones of his family. On the way to the cave, Dick's body is possessed by Dead Man, at whom Damien lashes out in confusion. Dead Man then possesses and leaves Damien's body, subsequently passing his knowledge of the attack of the Black Lanterns onto him. The two heroes then prepare for the Black Lanterns' assault on Gotham. 44 After raiding the Army Reserve National Guard Armory, Dick, Damien, and the arriving Tim Drake are able to save Commissioner Gordon, Oracle, and the surviving police officers at Gotham Central from the reanimated versions of the original Dark Knight's deceased Rogues Gallery members. However, they then find themselves in a horrific encounter with the parents of Dick Grayson and Tim Drake reanimated as Black Lanterns. 45 Dick and Tim send Damien with the Gordons to their underground base while they battle the Black Lanterns. Dick eventually orders Damien through their comm links to send one of his wingers with Mr. Freeze's gun. Grayson uses the weapon to cryogenically suspend himself and Tim, forcing the Black Lanterns to retreat as they are unable to read any sign of life of them. Dead Man later revives the former Boy Wonders. 46. The return of Bruce Wayne. Talia begins to clone Damien as she realizes that her son has completely sided with Dick Grayson and the Bat family. Damien finally stands up for his Robin mantle, telling Talia that being Robin was the best thing that he had ever done, and Talia does not need to save him from something he chooses to be. Talia then shows Damien a cloned version of himself, whom she sees as Damien's younger brother. Talia admits to Damien that even though she loves him, she is too much of a perfectionist to admire him for choosing a path that defies her so blatantly, and he is therefore no longer welcome and will be considered an enemy of the House of Al Ghul. Damien defiantly replies that he hopes to be a worthy one. Damien, as Robin, is then seen teaming up with Dick and Alfred to begin their own search for Bruce Wayne. 47. During a confrontation with a returned minor villain, the Getaway Genius, Damien is initially angry that Grayson failed to capture the foe, as well as the implication that his father failed as well during the Genius original run back when Grayson was Robin, but when Dick explains to him that Bruce let the Genius go because he discovered that the Genius robberies were only him stealing medicines that he needed so that he could live long enough to see his daughter grow up, Damien realizes that he never really knew his father as a person, and admits that there was more to him than Batman. 48. After Grayson's confidant, Oberon Sexton, is revealed to be the Joker in disguise, Damien tortures the villain by savagely beating him with a crowbar to get information, considering it to be self-defense since the Joker planned to attack him. 49 However, the Clown Prince of Crime's apparent helplessness is revealed to be another ruse and he incapacitates Damien with his hidden Joker venom. The villain intends to use Damien and Dick in his fight against their common enemies, the Black Glove. Help arrives in the form of the original Batman. After Bruce Wayne helps Dick and Damien defeat the Black Glove and the Joker, Wayne accepts his son in addition to his role as Robin. 50 Despite Bruce's parental responsibilities to Damien, he decides that he prefers Damien to continue working with Dick, who maintains the Batman mantle and whom Bruce sees as a positive role model for his son, rather than being with himself primarily, due to his plans with Batman Inc. 51. Teen Titans. Damien joins the Teen Titans when Dick Grayson concludes that the team needs a Robin, while also feeling that Damien would benefit from the friendship of other heroes, having progressed to the point where he can be trusted not to kill if left unsupervised. 52 Although Wonder Girl objects to this decision, Grayson convinces her to let Damien stay on the team as he needs Damien to learn that he can trust others not to betray him, only for his temper to jeopardize his first mission with the team when he attacks an opponent just after Raven had convinced him to calm down, provoking their new foe into starting his wave of destruction again. 53 Robin eventually begins to develop a friendship with Ravager, who initially reaches out to Damien due to their similar upbringings, Ravager's father being the notorious assassin, Deathstroke. 54 Tim Drake eventually comes to the Titans for help after a robotic duplicate of the Calculator attempts to murder his close friend, Tam Fox, and decides to rejoin the team once the mission is completed. Damien chooses to leave the team upon Drake's return, reasoning that the Teen Titans do not need two Robins, and realizing that his teammates prefer to work with Tim. Upon returning to Gotham, Damian tells Dick that even though he had been brought to the Titans to find friends, he did not need to, as he already had one, Grayson himself. 55. When Black Bat, Stephanie Brown's predecessor, returns to Gotham, she and Damian are partnered together during a stakeout to catch the Architect, a new villain obsessed with destroying Gotham landmarks. Damian berates Black Bat and mocks her for being sent to Hong Kong by his father, but she ultimately saves his life by rescuing him from the exploding iceberg lounge. 56. Afterward, the two work together to stop the bomber from destroying a massive bridge, saving dozens of lives in the process. 57. Robin and a group of other ex-Titans later head to Titan's Tower to help the team during a battle against Superboy Prime and the Legion of Doom. 58. During the battle, Robin destroys one of Prime's evil Superboy doppelgangers by using a kryptonite blade. 59. The New 52. Damian Wayne in Batman and Robin Volume 2, Number 5, March 2012. Art by Patrick Gleason. Following the Flashpoint story arc, Bruce Wayne was returned by writers as being the only Batman in 2011's The New 52 relaunch of DC Comics. Dick Grayson was returned to his previous role as Nightwing, and Damian still serves as his father's vigilante partner Robin. After reading the letter written by his father from an alternate timeline, the Dark Knight decides that it is time to take steps to put his past behind him. He tries to teach Damian the same values his parents have instilled within him as he finally assumes his role as a father. 60. However, despite Bruce's attempts to build a relationship with his son, Damian remains distant from him, which Alfred worries about. Although this relationship is further strained when Damian seemingly leaves Wayne Manor to join the villain Nobody, it turns out this was a ruse by Damian to bring him down. Although Damian eventually kills Nobody in front of Bruce, they are able to work through the incident by beginning to actively understand and respect one another as father and son. Bruce goes so far as to conceal the event from Dick and Tim, leading Alfred to comment to Bruce that he has become quite the overprotective parent. In Batman-related issues of the New 52, taking place after Batman issue number 14, The Joker's return to comics, Damian was portrayed as being very interested in fighting his father's archfoe. He seemed to always be eager to take on the Joker and repeatedly assumes that bad things happening in Gotham are related to the Joker in some way, in hopeful anticipation of an encounter with him. In Batman and Robin Volume 2, Number 15, Damian defies his father's orders to remain in the Batcave and investigates Alfred's kidnapping. The investigation leads to Gotham Zoo where Damian is captured by Joker. Joker accuses Damian and the other members of Batman's family of being a burden that prevents Batman from being the best foe for Joker. Joker tells Damian that his and Batman's greatest fear is being responsible for the other's death. Joker then presents Damian with Batman in Joker makeup, and states that Damian must kill Batman before Batman kills him. 61. Unwilling to kill his father, Damian chooses death, but the Joker kills Batman before he can deal a fatal blow. Damian passes out from Joker venom and Batman is revealed to be a fake. As Damian recovers from the toxin, the Joker presents him with a cloche. The Joker is eventually defeated by Batman, but the trust between Batman and the Batman family is shattered. During the Leviathan story arc, when his mother Talia puts a price on his head and is targeted by the most dangerous and skilled assassins, Bruce fakes Damian's death and secluded him in the Batcave to protect him while he goes undercover to confront Talia and her minions. But against his father's wishes, Damian escapes, donning a new costume under the name of Red Bird. 62. Along with the mysterious Wingman and most of the Bat family, Damian manages to rescue his father and defeat most of the League of Shadows. However, Batman explains that the temporary defeat of the League will not stop a larger force to attack later and destroy the city, so he comes to the extreme decision that the only solution possible is for Damian to return to his mother, a decision that causes an emotional reaction from Damian like never before. Death. Damian is killed battling a brutal enemy, the Heretic, an adult Damian clone, in issue number 8 of the second volume of the Batman Incorporated comic book, which went on sale February 27, 2013. According to the story's writer, Grant Morrison, he saves the world. He does his job as Robin. He dies an absolute hero. 63-64. In the comic, Damian is fighting hordes of Leviathan henchmen in the lobby of Wayne Tower when Nightwing comes to rescue him. Behind cover, the two briefly reminisce about their time together as Batman and Robin before resuming the defense. When the Heretic arrives and knocks Nightwing out, Damian bravely fights him. However, the Heretic eventually gains the upper hand and impales Damian through the chest, the sword piercing Damian's heart and resulting in Damian dying almost instantly. Minutes after Damian's death, Batman arrives and sees Damian's dead body. Angered, he and a revived Nightwing battle the Heretic, but are eventually forced to retreat with Red Robin and Damian's body. After holding a private funeral for the fallen boy Wonder, Bruce vows to avenge his son's death. The later storyline, Requiem, deals with the aftermath of Damian's death and Batman's thirst for revenge against Talia as well as his own increasingly unbalanced mental state resulting from this loss. He is buried next to Bruce Wayne's parents, Damian's paternal grandparents. Batman is also unwilling to accept his son's death, and begins seeking the means to resurrect Damian at the cost of his relationships with his friends and allies, and keeps his death a secret from the public in anticipation that his resurrection would succeed. 65-66 Damian's absence has also been causing a conflict between his father and his acting instructor, Carrie Kelly, who is determined to find out what has happened to him, leading her to realize that the Waynes are harboring a secret. 67. When Batman and Nightwing finally reconfront Heretic, they overpower him, and the clone suffers a brutal beating from both in retaliation for Damian's death. Batman, despite desiring to kill his son's murderer more than anything and Nightwing making no attempts of stopping his mentor, spares the villain's life after seeing his resemblance to Damian, realizing the clone is what is left of his son. However, Talia later kills the Heretic for his failure to kill Batman and challenges Batman to a duel to the death in the Batcave. 68 But Talia is killed following the duel by Kathy Webb, and it is later revealed that Damian's body was stolen from the Manor Cemetery by the League of Assassins along with Talia's for plans against Batman in addition to making their resurrections. It has also been shown that Ra's al Ghul has begun to engineer more clones of Damian. 69. Road to Resurrection. After being preoccupied with a series of cases in Gotham, Batman begins his attempt to reclaim Damian's body despite Ra's claim that he wishes to resurrect his daughter and grandson. Batman continues his pursuit out of his distrust towards Ra's. After defeating Damian's half-aquatic clones with Aquaman, Batman seeks Wonder Woman's help in chasing Ra's to Themyscira. 70 Though Ra's attempts to resurrect Damian alongside Talia in what he thought was a Lazarus pit in the island, in addition, to brainwash his grandson into joining him afterward, instead Ra's discovers that it is a portal to a netherworld in the pit's former location, of which both Wonder Woman and Batman were already aware. Ra's flees with the bodies afterward. 71. After Batman and Frankenstein locate Ra's and the bodies, they are too late as Ra's has successfully had them placed in a Lazarus pit, leaving Batman in dread of Damian's fate. 72 The resurrections fail, leaving Ra's to realize his arrogance for allowing the Heretic to kill his grandson and regret allowing Talia to clone Damian. After defeating Ra's in combat, Batman reclaims Damian's body and threatens his son's maternal grandfather that if he steals his son's body again, he will kill him in retaliation. They later encounter Darkseid's elite member Glorious Godfrey, setting in motion the Robin Rises story arc. 73. Return. Later, Godfrey's reason for coming to Earth is revealed, to retrieve the Chaos Shard, a powerful crystal that once belonged to Darkseid which Ra's revealed was hidden inside the sarcophagus he crafted for Damian. After detecting a trace signature of the shard coming from inside Damian's body, Godfrey escapes with Damian's corpse back to Apocalypse, despite assistance from the Justice League. Angered, Batman once again vows to retrieve his son's corpse. 74. Batman enters and accesses the Justice League watchtower to use his unstable exosuit known as the Hellbat armor designed by Batman himself and the Justice League members to engage large-scale threats. 75. He then activates the boom tube to Apocalypse to retrieve Damian's corpse. 76. Batman successfully retrieve his son's corpse as he and his team return to Earth via the boom tube directly to the Batcave after escaping from Darkseid and his parademons. After this, Batman uses the Chaos Shard on his son's corpse, which has been infused with Darkseid's Omega Sanction. With Batman facing two choices of whether to resurrect Damian or his parents, he chooses his son, granting Damian's true resurrection. As Damian and Batman embrace, Batman collapses from exhaustion. 77. However, before the team can celebrate, the boom tube used to return to Earth was not closed and Darkseid's son Kalibak arrives and attacks the team. During the fight, Kalibak beats the team nearly to death, when suddenly Damian knocks out Kalibak with a powerful uppercut, discovering that due to the Chaos Shard he has gained superhuman abilities. While Damian fights Kalibak, Batman remotely controls the Batwing and sends it crashing into Kalibak, sending him back through the boom tube and then closes the portal. Damian then reunites with his father and his family team. In the aftermath, Damian is tested by Batman on how to control his new power abilities before Damian returns to the role as Robin. 78. With help from the Justice League, Batman discovers that Damian's new powers do not last, and he eventually relies on his natural abilities once more. 79. Damian Wayne in DC Rebirth, art by Jim Lee, Scott Williams, and Lex Sinclair. Robin, son of Batman. After the events of Batman Endgame that resulted in Bruce Wayne's disappearance, Damian, as Robin, sets out on a globe-spanning journey to forge his own destiny and make amends for all of his wrongdoings in his own series, titled Robin, Son of Batman. Along his journey, he crosses paths with Ra's and Talia al Ghul, Deathstroke, and a new character named Maya Ducard, daughter of the late villain, Nobody. Damian plays a particular role in Batman and Robin Eternal when the Bat family is pitted against Mother, a ruthless woman who believes that she can make